Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Teen Spirit collection from Echo Park. I got this actually from my last Tuesday morning haul. And last as in being last forever because they are officially closed, which is so sad. So I got the paper pack and an ephemera pack, and I thought I had an ephemera pack back at home, so I was hoping it wasn't the same, and it turns out it wasn't. One is like the journaling bits, and the other one's the frames and whatever they call it. So I was happy to have both of them. So I have these two pictures here of my youngest playing the drums, and I thought this was such a fun collection to use for that. There's a lot of ephemera that said, "You rock, rock on, play loud," that sort of a thing. So I decided to use a circle, and I cut it 11 by 11. So if you are wondering, that's what size it is. And I thought initially that I would use that second piece on a different layout. However, then I thought, I wonder how it would look if I did the scrap piece, if I use that on the other opposite side, and decided I'm going to go with that. I was going to add some strips of paper down the left-hand side anyways, but adding that little circle I thought was just kind of a fun way to almost close off the layout. I don't love a lot of white space. When there is a lot of white space on the layout, I always try to fill it. And so I thought this was a kind of unique way to fill in that space. So I am going to add the strip of that kind of reddish paper. That's the paper I use to back the photos. And then I go into the stash trying to find another piece of paper. A lot of the papers have large icons. I wanted something smaller, and although these shoes have nothing to do with playing the drums, I thought it was the cutest option left that brought in a brighter color. There was another black paper that has like the peace sign, but that would have just blended in with the part of the circle there. So that's kind of why I chose the shoes. Again, doesn't have anything to do with the photos, but that is what I chose and why I chose it. So now going through the ephemera packs, trying to find out kind of those rock-on ones, trying to figure out where to place them as well. There's frames in that pack. Thought maybe I would try that, but then that ended up kind of being too busy. And so I kind of thought against it because it would just add another pattern and just be too busy. So instead, I decided to look through the cut aparts and found this one that said "You rocked it," and I loved how there was like a shadow, like the words are like flying off the page and there's a shadow behind it. I thought if I fussy cut that would be a really cool title. And so that is what I'm going to do. So I do fussy cut that out of the cut apart. I'm going to have that come off the photos kind of towards the top. I just thought that was really fun. I was going to try to use some of the smaller icons for my title, but really happy that I found this because it is larger. Again, fills in that space really well. And because it's a solid color, doesn't add to the busyness of the page as it is already. So then I decided there were a couple of flags in the ephemera pack, so I decided to kind of cut those down, and then there was a third on the sticker sheet. So I'm going to add those to the bottom just as a smaller embellishment cluster. I did not embellish too much on this one just because the papers are quite busy, and so I wanted to keep my embellishing kind of at a minimum. So I thought maybe I would use some of the phrase stickers down at the bottom of the sticker sheet, but decided against it. Didn't like the way that looked. So instead I remembered that I have some flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. So I grabbed those, and one of them said "You rock," and it's like a gray color, which was perfect. So I do add that to the bottom there, and add a couple of stars to it just to add to it. And I really like the way that looks. So then I'm going to commit to the top cluster and add that little star ephemera to that, and then a couple of other stars up there just to, again, fill in that space a little bit more and add to the title a little bit. So now I kind of am thinking I want one more cluster and want it kind of down to the bottom left. So again, you can see that the theme is like You Rock. Usually I would not repeat the theme in my title and my embellishments and all over the layout, but for this one I decided it was okay because I wanted to kind of use those up. So I add the peace sign, use the rock on, and then kind of think about what else I can add to that cluster. I just didn't think it was quite done. So I go back into my stash of Scrap and Happy Studio flares and find one that says, I think it says You're Awesome or So Awesome. And it's like a reddish color. And so I thought that just worked really well with the color scheme of the layout. So I am going to add that down at the bottom as well. Pop that one up on some foam tape a little bit. I think I popped that rock up on some foam tape. So in order to kind of level it out, I needed to add foam tape to half of that flare at the bottom there. But that is going to finish off this layout. A really quick layout to put together, but I really like the way it did turn out. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will look for this collection, although it is an older one, see if I can find it and link it down below for you. I know there is a girls version as well. So if that is something you're interested in, I'll try to find that and link it down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.